What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Fight IQ, to Fight and Field Insights Fight IQ. We have the biggest card of the year. Get the pen and look even more important. Blanchfield versus Barber. Oh, this is a big one, guys. This is a big one. This is some serious mixed martial arts, right? Erin Blanchfield, you guys heard of her? You guys heard of Erin Blanchfield, number 4 ranked, alright? Women's flyweight. Maycee Barber? Have you guys heard of her? Okay. We're getting ahead of ourselves, right? We're going to have to come back to this one. We're going to have to really do the deep dive on it. We're going to have to just shoot into the weeds for this one, alright? There is going to be a lot of de-weeding when it comes to this main event, alright? Because the UFC, they save the best for they got the cookies in the jar, right? The cookies are in the jar. We're gonna come back to this one, guys. We're gonna start at the bottom. We're gonna work our way up. It's a normal fight IQ. Don't let this card fool you. All right, this is a normal fight IQ. All right, just because of how big this main event is, you may be thinking, well, is this gonna be some sort of special episode? Is this a Volkanovski, Diego Lopez? Is it? No, okay, it's a normal fight IQ. So, starting off, Rayana dos Santos versus Alice Adelina. Romania versus Brazil. We don't know too much about either of these women, guys, alright? This is a pretty stock standard, stinky women's fight. Alice Aldina, Aldeline? I don't know. We don't know. Alice versus Rayana dos Santos. This is a tough fight to pick. Alright, guys, this is a tough fight to pick. Just looking at either of these women, it could go either way, alright? We're pretty tied up in the stats. Looks like they both have solid takedown defense. Alice might have a bit more of an edge, statistically speaking, in the grappling department, but I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go with Brazil. I'm going to go with Rayana dos Santos here on this one, guys. Nice and quick and easy one. Manuel Medeiros versus Bellagio Oki. Belgium's own. This is a really cool fight, guys. This is a really good one, alright? 9-2. Bellagio Oki versus Manuel Medeiros. Alright. I like Manuel Medeiros, alright? He's had a few good fights. Who was his last fight against, guys? Manuel Medeiros. Hubner. That was sadly the fight we had to cover earlier in the year, where he beat up our boy Hubner. Unanimous decision, right? He's a bit of a decision guy, this Manuel Medeiros. And we like Manuel Medeiros here at Fight and Field Insights, right? We actually really do like Manuel Medeiros. He's a flashier fighter. And then you got Bellagio Oki versus he's coming off a loss to Duncan, Chris Duncan, if you didn't know him. So this is a bit of a get in the win column fight for both Bellagio Oki, okay? And I like to say with these guys who are coming off of a loss, they have a bit of a fire lit underneath their bellies to get back into the win column. And I think Manuel Medeiros is going to have to fight hard to try and keep that undefeated title he's kind of got right now. If he's not careful, man, Bellagio Oki is probably looking to get a win. And that's the hardest fighter you can fight against. So, look, this is a tough fight to pick. I know that probably all just sounded like gibberish, right? But that's like top quality UFC Apex knowledge. I'm going to go with Manuel Medeiros in this one, guys. He seems Puerto Rican, right? So I'm going to take him to win that one. Kurt Holloway versus Jordan Levitt. If you guys don't know Jordan Levitt, he's that guy. He's the Donkey Kong guy. He twerks. All right, he does some pretty outlandish stuff in the octagon. Famously had a bit of a twerking rivalry with Paddy Pimblett. Kurt Holloway, I think, is a bit of a layup for Jordan Levitt. All right, don't let this random card that he's been put on fool you. All right, Jordan Levitt actually is a pretty talented striker. He's a very talented grappler. I think Jordan Levitt's probably got what it takes to get this one done, guys. I'm going to take Jordan Levitt here. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Ramirez Brahimaj versus Oban Elliot. I'm a big Oban Elliot guy. I'm probably not... Oban Elliot slipping in here, you know, this could fly under the radar 99% of the time. This could fly under the radar, this fight. But I picked up on it, right? Why did I pick up on it? Because we dive into the weeds here at Finefield Insights, all right? We break down every little fight. Just because it's a Maycee Barber... Well, because it's a Maycee Barber, Erin Blanchfield fight card, right? Because it's the biggest main event of the year. That's why we pick up on these Oban Elliot fights. All right, Oban Elliot looked really good in his last fight. Won it by knockout. I'm high on Oban Elliot. Give me Oban Elliot to win. Is he the betting favourite? Don't have any odds yet. Oban Elliot, give me him to win. Probably by knockout. Don't know. On the main card. Ketlen Vieira versus Maycee Chiasson. I should know how to say that. Number 5 rank. I should know how to say that. Okay. Ketlen Vieira is getting up there a little bit in age. All right. There's only so long you can turn back these young, hungry contenders and hold down a number 3 spot. I've always liked Ketlen Vieira. Right? I think she's a bit of a badass. I think she's definitely a tough cookie. She's going to be a tough cookie to crack for Maycee Chicago. Chiasson. Anyway. It's going to be a tough cookie for her to crack. All right? But Ketlen Vieira is getting up there in age. And there's, once again, you know, it's only so long you can hold these contenders out. So I'm going Maycee Chiasson in this one, guys. Jamira Wells versus Andres Gustafsson. This fight's snuck its way onto the main card. Looks like a Dana White Contender Series guy. And I don't bet against Dana White Contender Series guys, so give me Andres Gustafsson. Gustafsson. Give me him to win somehow. Jafael Filhario Philo versus Alan Nascimento. Yeah. This is still the prelims. I don't even know what I'm going on about. Hard one, guys. Real hard one. Rafael Philo looks like he's hasn't fought for a while. He's wearing the old Venom shorts. Both of them are wearing the old Venom shorts. I think Alan Nascimento, he looks a little bit more well-rounded. He looks a little bit more grizzled. He looks like a bit more of a vet. So I'm going to go Alan. Alan Nascimento. Zachary. This is the main card. Zachary Reese versus Duško Todorović. Why are we getting all of these European names? Zachary Reese coming off a brutal TKO loss, getting his head slammed through the canvas. Brutal loss, real brutal. It was hard to watch him go out the way he did. I was liking Zachary Reese on the run that he was on. Okay, I think he's an entertaining fighter. He does go out there and perform really nice highlight finishes. I don't know too much about this Duško guy, all right? I don't know a whole lot about him. So he could be a world beater. And Zachary Reese could be looking at a second loss on the skid. But I'm going to take Zachary Reese. I'm going to back Zachary Reese. All right? Don't know. Something's whispering in my ear. Randy Orton and that. Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes. I don't have a dog in the race here, guys. Dustin Jacoby's got a whole lot of dog in him. Okay? He's probably coming off a loss. Bruno Lopes is probably coming off a loss. This is a real coin flip. Flipping the coin on this one. If I actually had a coin here, I'd probably flip a coin. I'd flip a coin if we had a coin here. I don't have a coin. So, metaphorical coin flip. I'm going to go with heads. Oh, it's heads. I'm going Dustin Jacoby. I think Dustin Jacoby wins this one. Billy Ray Goff versus... You fucking serious, man? What is this card? What is this? What are all these names? What is this card? What are all these names? Who are these people? I'm gonna call him KO. KO versus Billy Ray Goff. Know much about either of these guys. Looks like KO's coming out of Dana White Contender Series. which means he's probably going to get a vicious win. I'm going to go with KO to win this one for Korea. So for South Korea, I'm pretty sure it's South Korean, yeah. Co-main event, Mateusz Gamrot is up against Ludovit Klein. So Ludovit Klein's got a few good wins under his belt, all right? It's been a while since he's fought, but Mateusz Gamrot is always dangerous. I'm not too sure. Mateusz Gamrot's coming off a loss to Dan Hooker, which, man, losing to Dan Hooker and then dropping down to an unranked fighter and you're number 7 ranked, crazy stuff, man. Ludovit Klein's getting a big push in the lightweight division. Yeah, all right? I honestly think this is going to be a tough grappling battle. I think this could turn into a bit of a gritty grappling battle on the ground. These two, Slovakian and Polish fighters are going to really mix it up well on the ground, all right? I think Slovakian, Ludovit Klein is probably going to have a bit of an edge in the grappling department. I know what you're saying. Poland, all right? Polish, all right? Mateusz Gamrot, wet blanket. But I've got a sneaking suspicion we're going to see a Ludovit Klein enter his way into the lightweight rankings in like a bit of a shock aura, like, whoa, no one's seen that coming. So yeah, I got Ludovit Klein to win this one, man. I don't think it's that much of a skill gap. It's one of these lightweight guys, there's so many of them that are just like hanging around the shallows of the top 15, top 10. There's so many good lightweight fighters that just haven't cracked the 15 yet. And I think Ludovit Klein is one of the best chances, of these guys who are hanging around the shallows to make it in to the top 10 against a guy like Mateusz Gamrot. Once again, it's a close fight. It's going to be a bit of a grappling smudge out, but I think Ludovit Klein is going to have the edge here. Give me Ludovit Klein to enter the rankings. And now on to the huge mega fight main event. Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. This is a huge fight, guys. All right, this is incredible stuff. This is big UFC fight. This is MMA stuff. All right, this is worldwide MMA stuff. Maycee Barber at number 5. Erin Blanchfield trying to turn her back and hold on to that number 4 ranking. It's going to be a tough fight for either of these girls, man. I could seriously see first round. It's a 5-rounder. Cue Sundog meme. It's a 5-rounder. All right, I can see both of these girls sort of getting out there and just, testing out the waters, see who's going to win the outside foot battle for the majority of the rounds to come, playing the outside foot battle, sticking the jab out there, just getting, feelers out, throwing out the feints. I can see this just being a very, for rounds 1, very striking, heavy round, all right? A lot of boxing, all the fundamental work, the feints, working on the feints, getting the footwork down pat, setting the jab at range, and get to work on them combos for the later rounds. All right, I don't see this hitting the ground too early on in the fight. All right, maybe into rounds 2, maybe 3 to 4. Okay, is when these female fighters might get a little bit tired and hit the mat. But I think we're going to see a little bit of a bit of a range finding game in the first round, if you will. These two women are going to try and feel each other out. Try and see what the water's like, test the water, dip the toe in the water, see what it's like. I'm leaning more towards a Maycee Barber. All right, I can see her, sort of just chugging away along to get that title fight at flyweight. All right, she needs an Erin Blanchfield under her belt, and she's got a title shot. All right. But then in saying that, Blanchfield, scrappy dog, we know Erin Blanchfield, man, she can really scrap them. She's got a really good right hand, a really good right cross. Rounds 2, you could probably see a lot of that fundamental boxing work start to come into place now for both women. Going to start landing some cleaner, straighter shots down the middle. Maybe a couple body shots, ripping them leg kicks, obviously, and then late round 2, a couple takedowns. Round 3, we're going to see a fair bit of that takedown work from either women. And then 4s and 5, I think we get back to that boxing fundamental, ducking and weaving, from Maycee Barber and Erin Blanchfield. Man, this is going to be a really tight fight. I could almost put it at a draw. I think Maycee Barber wants this one. I think she really wants this win. All right. Look, she's on a roll, guys. Honestly, Maycee Barber's on a roll. When was the last time Maycee Barber lost, huh? It was to Alexa Grasso. And then she lost before that. Right? So Maycee Barber's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak. All right, let's go check out what Erin Blanchfield's doing. Just giving you guys the real inside scoop onto both these women. Erin Blanchfield, she's on a 1, lose, 2. She's on a 1 fight win streak, but she's got some huge wins under her belt, guys. Give it to Erin Blanchfield. She's got some huge wins under her belt, all right? She's only ever lost 2. Mignon Ferrot, who, if you didn't know, just challenged the champ, all right? She's only got 1 loss under her belt. 1 loss, guys. Maycee Barber is as talented as they come, and she's fought the who's, man. Aldrich, Molly McCann. She's beat Jessica Andrade, right? Tatiana Santos, Rose Namajunas. These are big wins, guys. These are big wins, okay? So Maycee Barber's going to struggle with this one. As I say, it's going to be a real, slug them out on the feet, rock them, sock them. Yeah. It's a tough one to pick, guys. This is almost a coin flip for me, just how talented both these women are. We're looking at future champions here on both sides, but I'm going to have to jump in the water with Maycee Barber here. Pause. But, yeah, no, huge fight, guys. Massive main event stuff. Blanchfield versus Barber. This is UFC at its peak. At its peak. Yeah! Woo! All that aside, guys. Yeah, I blew through this card, okay? I blew through this card a little bit. I did no real research into any of these fights. So if I do bad on the picks, it is what it is, alright? I didn't do too much research here, guys. This is a real gap filler. There's a couple cool fights. I will admit, this main event women's fight isn't too bad. The Mateusz Gamrot, Ludovit Klein, it's a sick fight, Zachary Reese, cool to see him back in there. I'm really excited to see Oban Elliot back in the octagon. So, man, there's some cool fights in here, right? There's some cool fights, and that's why I did address it, all right? That's why I did do a Fight IQ. I was feeling like skipping this. I was feeling like not doing a Fight IQ, but I did a Fight IQ, all right? Just before, that's all the fights on the card. So, before we hang this video up, I just wanted to quickly go ahead and look at a few things, right? Just to make this a little bit more of a beefy episode, because I know how quick we just did that. I wanted to go back through, just get a quick tally of wins and losses over the weekend for the Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales Apex card. We got the Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales fight right. We picked Michael Morales. I said Michael Morales would finish him, but I didn't think he'd finish him the way he did. Michael Morales put the hands on him and beat him up, knocked him out bad in the first round. But that's just what I said. Gilbert Burns, old. Michael Morales, young, hungry prospect. Kind of knew that was going to happen, all right? So, yeah, Michael Morales gets this one done. First round knockout, brutal stuff. We did pick Sadiq Youssef here to be a little bit crafty. He wasn't crafty, guys. We did pick Ruzaboyev, so we're 2-1. We picked Mel Costa with 3-1. This was a close fight, though, guys. We picked Gabe Green with 4-1. We actually picked Thiago Moises. We went against Jared Gordon. I think if Jared Gordon didn't get the knockout, Thiago Moises probably would have got him in the later rounds. But it is what it is. So what's that? We 4-2. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 4-2. This fight, I don't think this was the fight that we actually did picks on. So I'm not even going to count it. We picked Luciano 5-2, 6-2. We picked Denise Gomez. 7-2. We picked Hyung Sung Park. We picked him, and we picked Tisha Pennington. So we're 7-2. We're 7-2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, we went 8-2. That's not bad, guys. The Paul Craig fight obviously got cancelled, so not much you can do about that. But we did pretty well. We did pretty well for picks, guys. Yeah. It's a good fight. It was a good fight card. I don't have much to say about it, right? I just did really want to quickly. Oh, should I do this in this video? I don't know. This is a really Western episode of Fight IQ. Okay. I think I'll do this in a separate video, guys. I think I'm going to do a video breaking down all these huge upcoming fights, because we got huge upcoming fights. Merab versus Sean. That's next. Usman versus Buckley. Jamal versus Cleo Roundtree. Ilya Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. Rob Whittaker versus RDR. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. And then to be determined. So we've got huge fights on the horizon. So I'm going to go through, I think, later in the week, maybe on the weekend, guys, for all you MMA UFC heads out there on the Fight Field Insights channel. I'm going to break down some of these bigger fights that are getting announced. Because I'm always looking to do MMA UFC content, and I'm always running out of ideas. But the good news is we have some really great fights coming down the line, guys, for the next few months. We're not going to have to sit on our hands and watch the Blanchfields fight the Barbers. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thanks for watching this real Western episode of Fight IQ. I don't expect these picks to set in stone, but hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I made a little bit of a goof, a little bit of a gag. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out my socials, Instagram, TikTok, blah blah blah. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. And deuces.